So this is a fun catfight involving George Clooney and Steve Wynn. Steve Wynn is the owner of, unsurprisingly, Wynn Resort in Las Vegas, also Encore, among others. He's enormously wealthy. He's a billionaire. And he doesn't like the president much. George Clooney does. Now, George Clooney was at a dinner with Steve Wynn a couple of weeks ago. And Clooney and Wynn have totally different stories about what happened in that dinner. There's no question that they had a verbal fight. It's not clear who, according to, if you believe both sides, it's totally unclear as to who started it and who said what. I have a conclusion on that in a second. But this is Clooney's statements on what happened. He said, he called the president an asshole. That is a fact. I said the president was my longtime friend. And then he said, your friend is an asshole. At that point, I told Steve that he was an asshole and I wasn't going to sit at his table while he was being such a jackass. Now, so far, this is not the most intellectually stimulating political debate I've ever been to, but it's fun, okay? We've got two incredibly powerful people yelling at one another. And he went on to say, I walked out. There were obviously quite a few more adjectives and adverbs used by both of us. Those are all the facts. It had nothing to do with politics and everything to do with character. Oh, interesting. Now, Steve Wynn disagrees. He says, no. He was the aggrieved party here, and Clooney attacked him for no reason. In fact, he said Clooney started attacking a CAA agent, a creative artist agency, who was telling a joke about Mikhail Gorbachev. And then Steve Wynn picks up the story from there. He says, then he sat down and started talking about the Affordable Care Act. And that's when I spoke up. He didn't like that either. I think my discussion about the Affordable Care Act was the straw that broke the camel's back. When he's drinking, he considers himself a close personal buddy of the president. He got up and said, I don't have to listen to this, presumably effing stuff. The only person who got excited at the table was George, and he ran off to another bar. So, throwing him under the bus quite substantially, and it goes on. Clooney's fun to be with when he's sober. If you have any chance to drink with him, you want to get there early and don't stay late. And then he adds, everybody who's in my business, the casino business, knows to take actors with a grain of salt. A nice little diss at the end there, like, you know, he's an actor, he's an idiot. Whereas I'm a genius, I made money by having people give me a certain percentage of their money when they gamble. Easiest way to make money in American history. Anyway, now, from the quotes, who seems like the asshole? The guy who's like, oh, the actor, he's such an idiot. Do you know how rich I am? No, of course. I was just talking about policy, about the Affordable Care Act. I'm sure you called it the Affordable Care Act, not Obamacare. I'm sure you didn't curse at all. It was only him, right? By the way, now, of course, I'm on Clooney's side. On the policy issues, I can't stand Steve Wynn. He's a guy who gives millions of dollars to loathsome Republicans just so he could have lower taxes and less regulation of his casinos, and so that people could look the other way. And he's also the jackass who put his elbow through a painting that was worth, I believe, over $100 million and ruined it. Genius. But people in my business know not to take people in the casino business too seriously. But if you're wondering, what do the objective people who were at the table think, Clooney says there were 9 other people at the table. You can ask all of them what the story was, and they will all confirm what I said. Now, if they're a Wynn employee, my guess is they're not going to confirm what George Clooney said. But if you phrase it that way, it's more likely that the people at the table are going to agree with you. Steve Wynn didn't mention anyone else, just gave his side of the story and walked out by basically throwing George Clooney further under the bus. Look, I'm the most biased man in America in this case because I can't stand Wynn and I like Clooney's political positions. But I don't think anybody won this argument, and it wasn't a particularly substantive one, but we did have a little bit of fun. And I am going to unilaterally declare George Clooney the winner and Steve Wynn a loser. Nothing's better than that elbow through the painting story. And an idiot was trying to brag and show it off to Nora Ephron. He's like, look at this incredibly expensive painting I got. Oh, shit. He basically delivered an elbow from the sky on top of his own head. Okay, nice job.